In 1932, the property was sold to Dr. and Mrs. Donald McIntyre, who opened the Ellerbe Springs Restorium. This venture only lasted 2 years before the property was sold to Richmond County. It continued to be used for public events, with the schedule expanded to include fall harvest festivals. In the 1930s, the property was also used for Richmond County 4-H camps and as Girl Scout Residence Center operated by the National Youth Administration, also known as the NYA. In April 1940, First Lady Eleanor Roosevelt visited Ellerbe Springs for a luncheon and gave a speech in support of the NYA. In the mid-1940s, the property was sold to the Central North Carolina Council, Boy Scouts of America, who enjoyed it for 10 years. The property then sat vacant for many years. In 1969, Ellerbe Springs was sold to Harris McCrae and his wife Nancy. They took 3 years to renovate the dining room and construct a new camping area. For more than 40 years, Ellerbe Springs would be known for its fine dining and comfortable lodging. After Harris McCrae passed away in 1985, his daughter Elizabeth William Harris stepped in and, under the watchful eye of the National Register of Historical Places, completely renovated the inn. The extensive restoration project reduced the number of rooms to 14, each with a private bathroom and individually controlled heating and air conditioning. Throughout the inn, the decor was reminiscent of the early 1900s. When renovations were complete, it was for the first time since 1925 that the Ellerbe Springs was open and operated as a complete hotel. In 1990, the McCraes decided to sell Ellerbe Springs.
So Eleanor Roosevelt stayed here.
Well, she didn't stay here. She came in for a luncheon.
Okay. Well, that's some interesting information. Okay, right here, we thought this was just a little gazebo, your traditional gazebos that you could sit at. This is right behind the inn, or right beside of the inn. But I bet you this is the spring. And it looks like, I bet you that this was a little area you could sit at over here. You could sit at, maybe put your feet in the water, because it's got a drainage that comes out. I am almost willing to bet that's what this is, that this right here is the spring itself. And so they got, the water's already up to this, but they got the a screen here, and maybe that screen is to just keep people from falling in it. Yeah, sure. It's not, it can be moved. It can be moved. And so it seems like, I know back when I was with the sheriff's office, when they were foreclosing on properties, selling properties, they had to cover the swimming pools. They had to cover swimming pools so people or kids, wouldn't fall in. And so I guess it was just some insurance thing. And so, but I don't know if that's what's going on here, but it was definitely a safety precaution, especially if you got children at the campground. And so, but isn't that cool? Isn't that cool? We need to find out about this. And so, but you can definitely tell it's got some age on it. I mean, this place has been around a long time.
Mm-hmm. Nice built a fireplace over there.
Yeah, right over here there's a fireplace. We'll take a walk over there in just a second. But they got a drainage. I guess if it overflows,
yeah. So
it just goes right out.
Running spring like at Shatley Springs.
Yeah. Yeah, Shatley Springs has they had actually pipe.
Yeah.
The pipe was coming through a certain area, and it was constantly running, and you could come there, if the place was shut down, you could come there and get some water. Even at nighttime, they leave the light on so anybody could get water there if they wanted it. We decided to have ourselves a little sit-down moment on this wall here that's been here a very long time. Campground is over in this area, and we're going to go through a little bit more. Okay, in October in 1991, the inn reopened with the new owners, J. Neal, I'm going to say that's Cadu, yep, and his wife, Joanne. Under management of Beth Cadu Diaz, more public events were added, including Easter egg hunts, 4th of July pancake breakfasts, and murder mystery weekends. Those would be cool.
Sounds fun.
That I gotta admit, that would be neat. It was during this time that the McCaskill house was relocated. Yep.
Oh, there we go.
Yep, they relocated the McCaskill house from a neighboring farm to add to its charm. And we're going to check that out here in just a minute, to Ellerbe Springs. In 1999, the inn was sold again. And let's see, what else do we have? Okay. Between 2000 and 2011, Ellerbe Springs continued to operate as an inn and restaurant. However, business declined, in part due to construction of a highway bypass that redirected traffic from the small highway 220. In 2013, the inn was sold again to Mark and Donna Buckeridge. In 2015, it reopened as a bed and breakfast and a place for private and public special events. Since then, the Spring House, a family-friendly restaurant, opened in the old dance hall, and the first phase of a campground, Camp Henning, was opened. During 2020 presidential campaign, they hosted Eric Trump on their grounds as he stumped for his father, President Donald Trump. Okay, we found a nice little sit-down spot. And they got little areas here and there that cement. I'm wondering if maybe that's where other sit-down spots were. But
Beautiful out here.
it is. There's a pond out here, and we're going to check that out here in just a minute.
And it's actually nice and cool for the moment.
Yeah, it is really, I guess the shade is really helping out. But the campground is over in this area, and we were just over here, and
the house is up
the
there.
house is over there. And but we're going to talk about some spooky ghosts. The building has also been examined by paranormal investigators, East Coast Paranormal, and that's East, and the coast is with a K. K-O-A-S-T. East Coast Paranormal in April and October of 2012. So it's been,
10 years
what,
ago.
10 years ago. And the video, the YouTube video, if you guys want to, it's just a trailer is all it is. It's the haunted investigation of Ellerbe Springs Inn. But at any rate, it says that they examined it for signs of ghosts, spirits, or any other, what's that, ethereal entities. And so Mark said many guests described getting goosebumps upon entering, and they were convinced that the Buckeridges weren't telling them everything about the inn. But Mark said in all the time they've spent there, they haven't had any paranormal experiences, except for the times he heard Donna speak to him, but she had been outside the whole time. Boom, boom, boom.